It always takes me a minute to unhook the mask from my hoop earrings. Just, it is what it is. Good morning, everybody. It's great to see you, and it is a pleasure to be here in this really funky, wonderful, progressive area of downtown LA. I love it, and I'm really thrilled to be partnering with all of these organizations and to hear about the amazing work done here at Hop, Skip, Drive. I am Supervisor Holly Mitchell, proudly representing the 2nd Supervisorial District in LA. And I want to thank our partners who made this program possible. So thank you to LA-TechOrg for organizing the tech companies and connecting them to the talented youth of South Los. Thank you also to Unite LA, which is helping to coordinate a meaningful internship experience for the next several weeks. And I emphasize meaningful because I had some of those internships where you show up and you have great expectation and promise and you file. Because I'm old, we were filing back in those days. And so to have an organization that helps guide an intern's experience, I think is really important. So I appreciate that vision and forethought. And again, a thank you to the companies for participating, and a big shout out again to Hop, Skip, Drive for hosting us today in your beautiful, beautiful space. I appreciate all of you and thank you for your work thus far, but we have only just begun. I'm thrilled to stand here today for this groundbreaking initiative. This initiative is really important because for many of our students, this will be their first time accessing an opportunity to work and learn in the tech field. We were just having a conversation about what happens when you graduate from your undergrad experience and you've got all this theory, and then it's like, so what's my connector to this next phase of my life? That's when I went to my paid internship through the Coral Foundation Fellowship, because you need to be able to have a space where you can safely practice that theory you just learned to help you launch. If we're committed to building the tech industry in LA County, which I absolutely am, we really have to ensure that our residents are afforded the opportunity to benefit from it. The 2nd District is home to some of the most, I would add, creative and talented youth, but far too often they can't access the same opportunities or exposure to a career in technology or digital media. Many of the applicants for this program identify as first in their family to pursue higher education, or their systems involved. That's why my office dedicated funding to support our opportunity youth in securing a paid internship experience for each student. Because from my perspective, in my own life experience, unpaid internships are a vestige of privilege. For many, this is simply not an option. By providing some financial stability, youth will gain experience working and understanding the tech industry to hopefully inspire their pathway forward and access to high quality and high paying jobs. This initiative is part of a broader goal to combat poverty and build pathways to middle class jobs for all of LA County, but particularly the 2nd District. Those who are employed in the tech sector stand to earn, get this, an average of $2 million more over the life of their career than other median income non-tech people. That's just salary. That pales in comparison to benefits and exposure and experiences. This is also an industry that I would argue thrived during this current public health and economic downturn. This is the industry that we all turn to in order to continue to maintain our lives and our lifestyles, where many of the other primary sectors, business sectors, historically in LA County, were disproportionately harmed. So if I were you two, this is the sector I'd be looking to, because I think it really will guarantee your future. To truly build back better, we must harness our local talent and provide exposure to economic opportunity and family-sustaining careers. Again, I want to thank the partners for making this initiative a reality and for working with our office on not finding a new talent pool, but accessing our existing talent. Many, when they refer to the communities that I have the privilege of representing and that I came from, as hard to reach. Well, I would argue that many of our communities have been hardly reached. And so this kind of initiative is a perfect example of us reaching into an existing talent pool and simply connecting them to all of you, leaders in the tech industry. So next, we're going to hear from some of the people who are going to do the real work. I'd also, it's my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Miss Laura Latterman, who's going to join us via Zoom. Go ahead, technology. Laura is the manager. Hey, Laura. Laura is the manager of data analysis and visualization at Measure of America. And she's going to share some of the key data measures that are going to help drive this initiative as we talk about the importance of diversity and equity in the tech industry. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Laura Laterman, and I'm the manager of data analysis and visualization at Measure of America, a program of the Social Science Research Council. We were thrilled to support the 1,000 Interns initiative with data analysis on the potential impacts of the program because we know how important it is to improve job opportunities for the young people of Los Angeles. Measure of America researches well-being and access to opportunity in communities across the country. For more than a decade, we have been the leading organization tracking the data on Youth is Connection, the share of young people ages 16 to 24 who are neither working nor in school. We know that young adulthood is such an important time for building the skills, connections, and foundations for a successful and rewarding life. But even before the pandemic, there were 140,000 young people in the LA metro area who were not working and were not in school. There are hundreds of thousands more working low-wage jobs and struggling to make ends meet. The LA tech industry has the potential to make a serious impact on the economic futures of Los Angeles's young people and their communities. But right now, the industry does not reflect the demographics of the region. Less than a quarter of tech sector employees are Black or Latinx, while these groups make up over half the population of the region. And far too few of LA's young people have access to employment in this successful and growing field. Using data from the Census Bureau's American Community Survey, we estimated that a young person who gets a job in tech would make $2 million more over the course of their career than the typical worker in other fields. In the first 5 years alone, their additional earnings are enough to cover the down payment on a median priced home in the region. If all 100 interns who participate in the South LA Intern Initiative obtain full-time jobs in tech after graduation, they would collectively take home $200 million more over the course of their careers, creating ripple effects with impacts on whole communities. Right now, too many young people in LA are missing out on well-paying job opportunities in a growing field. And employers are missing out too. They're missing out on a stable local workforce, one with local knowledge and roots in Los Angeles. Research shows that consumers are more likely to support businesses that are actively involved in their communities, including through local hiring. The South LA Intern Initiative is one small first step that the tech sector can take to address LA's extreme economic inequities. You can learn more about these inequities and policy interventions to address them in our report, A Portrait of Los Angeles County, and the forthcoming Portrait of California 2021. Thank you.
Laura, thank you for that. I was sitting here doing the mental math. So if we had 100 people, $200 million extra dollars in property taxes, you know what we could do at LA County to deliver services, not to mention how we could close the gap. You know, the Latinx and African-American home ownership today is at historically low levels. And so to create opportunities, this kind of pipeline, just hearing that in the first 5 years, you could earn the down payment for your house. Make sure you buy the house in the second district, both of you. I'm counting on you. Next up is our hostess, Joanna McFarland, the CEO and the co-founder of Hop, Skip, Drive. I love your tagline, transporting kids to their full potential, just like this internship is going to transport young people to their full potential in a career. Hop, Skip, Drive is a mobile app that provides safe and reliable transportation for kids and young adults, and are one of our tech companies hosting interns from South Los. Thank you so much, Joanna, for being here and for hosting us in your hood. Come on up.
shorter than Supervisor Mitchell. I'm going to stand on my tiptoes. I don't have my heels on today. Thank you very much, Supervisor Mitchell, and thank you everybody for being here. When I say it is a delight to host people in our office, I can't understate that enough. When I think about the theme of today, when I think about the theme that threads Hop, Skip, Drive and LA-TechOrg and the second district and the intern initiative, it's opportunity. Hop, Skip, Drive is all about creating opportunity through mobility. And we often say here that sometimes the difference between success and struggle can be as simple as having the ability to show up, the ability to get a ride somewhere. When I think about the great things that LA-TechOrg is doing in bringing together tech leaders in LA to create economic development opportunities throughout Los Angeles, we are creating those opportunities to show up too. And I think you see that today with our kicking off of the 1,000 Intern Initiative, and specifically with the South LA Intern Initiative that we are so happy to be launching. This really is about creating opportunity, creating exposure, and creating access for students to get the opportunity to learn skills, to get exposure to industries that to companies in LA and to industries that they may not have had the ability to get exposure to before. And that really is about creating opportunities. It's a number that you've heard before several times, but I want to repeat that number. The opportunity to start a career in tech can lead to over $2 million more over lifetime of earnings for a student in Los Angeles. That is real opportunity. And that's not just opportunity for that student, as Supervisor Mitchell so greatly expressed that, and what we heard from the data, that is economic opportunity in Los Angeles, and that is game changing for Los Angeles. It's also game changing for the tech companies of Los Angeles. We are all looking for talent and we are hungry for talent as we are growing. And so the ability to start creating homegrown talent that we can tap into, it's just a virtuous cycle, right? We are creating opportunity for students, we are creating opportunity for tech companies, and we are creating economic development opportunity for Los Angeles. And so I am thrilled to be a board member of LA-TechOrg and be bringing these opportunities. And I'm just thrilled to partner with the county and with the second district to really start this off here. And we're just getting started. You're going to see a whole lot more from us. This is really one of our first initiatives. And so the opportunity starts here and is only going to grow. Thank you. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you. Next up, we're going to hear from the co-chair of LA-TechOrg, Adam Miller. LA-TechOrg is responsible for convening all partners, especially bringing the employers to the table. That's a critical element to connect them with our youth. And again, we need more tech companies to come. Hey, ARC, we need more tech companies to come to the table, and we need more opportunity youth to take advantage of the opportunity. Again, LA-TechOrg was founded by LA's very own leading tech founders and CEOs with the mission to increase economic opportunity for LA's low-income students, and again, those who have been hardly reached. Come on up, Mr. Miller.
First, I want to thank the teams at LA-TechOrg, at 1P.org, Unite LA, and Hop, Skip, Drive. And I want to thank Supervisor Mitchell for your support in this initiative. I started LA-TechOrg to bring the power of the LA Tech community to help bring up the underserved communities within Los Angeles. And we managed to bring together a coalition of founders and CEOs of the top tech companies throughout Los Angeles County. And we're doing some really good work. And probably the best example of the work we do is this 1,000 Interns initiative. When the BLM movement started last year, I called up the executive director of LA-TechOrg, Sean Arian, and said, Sean, we can't just talk about diversity. We need to actually do something about it. And let's do something bold. Let's do something audacious. And so we committed to placing 1,000 students of color at meaningful internships at LA tech companies over the next 2 years. The way we're accomplishing that is through 6, think of them as semester-long sessions over the next 2 years. Starting now, each session will have 5 cohorts. In each cohort, we'll have 20 to 30 students per cohort. We are also running academies with companies like Snap and venture capital partners like FICA to change the opportunity for youth in LA. We've talked about the economic opportunity and the $2 million in lifetime earnings across the 1,000 students. That's $2 billion of increased income. But perhaps more important than that is the economic security that comes from these jobs. As we all witnessed during the pandemic, low-paid jobs were the first to be cut. And there was a lot of economic insecurity in these communities. In the tech community, I spoke to somebody today who said the labor market is tighter than ever. There's a massive labor shortage happening in the tech community. Now, people often assume when we talk about tech jobs and tech internships, we mean engineers. That's partially true. We include engineers, but it's not limited to engineers. The person I was talking to today was a sales executive. We're talking about salespeople, product managers, project managers, creative designers, marketers, and others who can contribute to the LA tech ecosystem and help create great opportunity for themselves and their families across generations. We're really excited about this initiative. It shows the power and the vision of the LA tech community, and it shows how working together we can help our neighbors. Thank you all.
So this is what happens when you go off script and you start talking and you take off your glasses. Did I skip somebody else that was supposed to speak? The students. So I circled their names on a piece of paper that I now don't have. Did I drop it? And I missed you, JD, right? Yeah, I just turned that piece of paper over. I have it. Just like, whoop, glasses off, started talking and went right past page 7. Yeah, I might need a paid internship myself here. Next up, representing Unite LA is, and because JD, I've been practicing your name all morning. So that's why I was like, I missed introducing the person. I've been practicing pronouncing his name. So that's what made me think about it. JD Opadiye with Unite LA. JD is the Tech Pathway Program Manager and works closely with preparing each student to be matched with employers. That's an important part. Come on up, JD.
Good morning, everyone. As the supervisor said, my name is JD Upadiye. I'm the Tech Pathway Program Manager with Unite LA. I have the pleasure of working with a lot of our young folks, helping prepare them for these opportunities, making sure they feel comfortable, confident, and ready to make an impact on the tech sector here in Los Angeles. I could go on for hours about how amazing and bright and friendly and funny all our youth are, but I'll keep it brief because today I have the privilege of introducing 2 of our wonderful students to the podium to speak a little bit about their experiences and their background. So with that, I'll introduce our first student, Kristen May Hernandez.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kristen May Hernandez, and I'm a Filipino American who was born and raised in Long Beach, California. And I'm also a recent graduate of Cal State Long Beach, actually, and I received my degree in computer science. Thank you. I actually found my passion for computer science going through social media when I was younger. I was on Tumblr, and on Tumblr you can actually edit your theme or your blog page. And I had so much fun finding out the different possibilities you could do with like just HTML and CSS. And I wanted to do more with that in high school, but growing up in Carson and going to Carson High School, there weren't that many opportunities such as Unite LA provided to me. So, and also growing up in a family of 7 siblings with only 1 laptop, it was really hard just to even try to learn. So even when I was accepted into Long Beach, I faced a lot of prejudice just for being a woman in tech, since tech is also a mainly male dominant field. And I had a lot of imposter syndrome going through that. And I want to be able to inspire youth that just because you're a minority or just because you're a woman in a male dominant field doesn't mean that your worth isn't worth any less than what they have to bring to the table. You, through your hard work, can also be able to bring something, a great product as well. And but in my college, there weren't even any workshops or classes that helped me learn about actual job preparation. Like Supervisor Holly Mitchell said, they were all like theory. How was I going to be able to go into the field when I only knew how to apply theory, but not actually apply it to a working product? So I'm very thankful that I was connected with Unite LA and that I'm able to actually work here at Hop Skip Drive, even though it'll be remote, as one of their summer interns. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kristen, for sharing. Really inspirational. I'd like you to introduce our next student, Francisco Rubio, to the podium to share a little bit about his background and his career journey.
So hi, everyone. My name is Francisco Rubio. I am a DACA recipient, a first-generation student as well. Growing up in South LA, there's really only a certain amount of problems that you think about throughout your day. These problems are more so social and financial than what am I going to be when I grow up. There are problems such as, am I going to have healthy food to eat when I get home, or just food at all? Are my parents going to be home tonight? Am I going to be safe taking this route from school? And so when I get to this point where I am today as a graduate of UCLA in a BA in global studies, the study of globalization, you learn about all these problems that the world faces, but you don't really know how you can implement processes to address them directly. And what this program, Unite LA, offers people like me, students like me, is the ability to gain the skills that are needed to solve the problems that my community faces right now and the problems that the world and my community will face in the future. And so being able to develop these skills while being paid is very, very crucial to our progress as professionals. When I was at UCLA, I had to work 2 jobs, and being a full-time student is a job in itself. And especially at a higher education institution such as UCLA, I pretty much fell through the cracks. I didn't have time to really invest in my skills and pursue opportunities to network with professionals that would help me get to where I want to be and the goals I want to achieve. And so a very, very organized program such as this that really takes into consideration people from my background and people who want to do the same kind of good, such as the founders of this program in my community, is very, very, very good for my community and myself. So I really appreciate all your hard work to get this program up and running.
So this is our opportunity to make a difference for the next generation. I didn't do internships in poli-sci as an undergrad because every school break, I was getting my hustle on, I was working. And so this is the kind of program that will allow students to make a different choice, to be exposed perhaps while undergrads, or as Laura said, as young as 16 before you enter college, to even give you a sense of what you might want to study and what your interests are. Really loved hearing you acknowledge that it's not just engineers. I did a radio interview this morning, and the first thing they said is, oh, do you have to be an engineer? No, because there's all kinds of different professional opportunities within the tech sector. It's about educating us all about what we mean when we say tech sector. And so I appreciate you acknowledging that. So questions anyone has for any of us, of Adam, JD, Joanna, the stars of the hour, Kristen and Francisco? Any questions you have about the program? What more can we say or do to convince you of its merit and value? Questions? That means we covered it all. So I want to thank the media outlets who came, who've done interviews with the students, with myself. This is the whole point of today's presser, and this announcement of this initiative is to talk about and to publicize this program and talk about its rich value and opportunities. Again, yes, the initiative is 1,000 people countywide. I'm here representing for the South LA initiative. Let me just say 100 people, mainly because I understand how a game changer this can and will be for the students who call South Los Angeles home.